True greatness is often measured by records, but absolute dominance means leaving your closest rivals completely forgotten in the dust. We frequently celebrate icons like Wayne Gretzky and Michael Jordan for pushing sports to the absolute brink of human capability. Yet, none of those legends ever achieved the terrifying level of statistical isolation that occurred at the turn of the century. One man did not just defeat his competition, he broke the actual mathematical logic of the game itself. This is the untold story of the most impossible prime in sports history, the legendary era of Tiger Woods. See, the true measure of historical dominance is not simply reaching the top, but having the sheer bravery to tear down the very foundation that got you there. In 1997, a 21-year-old Tiger Woods dismantled the historic confines of Augusta National, winning the Masters tournament by a record-setting 12 strokes, with an 18-under par total of 270. It was a performance that permanently altered the trajectory of professional golf.
For a player to win a major early in his career is a tremendous advantage. How do you look at it?
I look at it, one is, I really don't care what they think, but to win a major by 21, I kind of thought I would do it by 22 or so. So I kind of beat my own expectations.
Yet, within 1 week of this historic triumph, Tiger Woods made a decision that defied traditional athletic logic.
Well, I saw my swing after the tournament was over, and I realized how far across the line it was. And I didn't like that look. And I knew that, yeah, I could have weeks where I play well, but I'm also going to have weeks where I really play poorly. I'm not going to be consistent week in, week out. That's not a golf swing that is going to be consistent.
Sitting alone to review the tournament broadcast tapes, Tiger Woods isolated approximately 10 structural flaws within a system that the rest of the sporting community deemed absolutely flawless. The core vulnerability centered on a critical timing conflict. His pelvic rotation fired at a velocity that completely outpaced the upper torso's downswing sequence. This discrepancy caused his arms to trail behind his body's center of mass, a mechanical phenomenon often described as getting stuck in the downswing. The resulting spatial misalignment left the club face trapped on an excessively inside-to-out path, forcing a dangerous reliance on rapid wrist compensation under pressure. To eliminate this vulnerability, Tiger Woods and his swing instructor Butch Harmon embarked on a radical systemic remodel. The primary mechanical objective was to tighten the swing radius and transition from a long, loose youth wind-up to a controlled, highly structured tour orientation. This required altering the club face orientation at the top of the backswing, shifting it from a shut angle of 25 to 30 degrees to square parameters of 36 to 40 degrees. To force the central nervous system to overwrite deeply embedded motor programs, the training regimen utilized a highly repetitive full-stop drill. Tiger Woods was forced to execute backswings to the apex, come to an absolute physical halt in 100-degree heat, and then initiate the downswing by letting his arms fall naturally while weight transferred to his left side. Neurobiological research indicates that the definitive consolidation of a modified kinetic sequence demands 3,000 to 5,000 exact repetitions to override ancestral habits. Tiger Woods accepted a severe performance plateau throughout 1998, exploiting a rare 10-year major championship exemption that provided the career security necessary to absorb short-term competitive decline. This professional security was further anchored by massive rookie corporate capital infusions, including a $20 million contract with Titleist and a $40 million clothing and apparel agreement with Nike executed immediately upon turning professional in late 1996. But could anyone have predicted the sheer statistical devastation this mechanical rewiring would unleash upon the world? What followed was an empirical separation from the field that remains completely unparalleled across the history of modern sport. The statistical profile of the 2000 United States Open at Pebble Beach provides a definitive case study in absolute athletic isolation. Tiger Woods concluded the event with a record-breaking 12-under par score of 272, securing a preposterous 15-stroke margin of victory over runners-up Ernie Els and Miguel Angel Jimenez. This remains the largest margin of victory in the history of major championships, breaking a record that had stood since Old Tom Morris won the 1862 Open Championship by 13 strokes. While Tiger Woods finished at 12 under par, the field combined for 1,917 strokes over par, leaving him as the only competitor under par. He became the first player in the 106-year history of the United States Open to finish an entire tournament at double digits under par, a threshold only previously breached temporarily by Gil Morgan at the same venue in 1992. The primary metric of this separation is captured by strokes gained total, which measures the number of shots a player beats the field average by per round. Tiger Woods gained 29.2 strokes against the field over 4 rounds, a modern historical record that cleared the second-best performance on the post-war list by 3.91 strokes. This variance is equivalent to the statistical gap separating rank 2 from rank 19 globally. This extreme baseline was driven by a ball-striking display where Tiger Woods hit 51 out of 72 greens in regulation, exceeding the field average of 48.7% by more than 22 percentage points. Over 437 rounds completed by the field that week, only 3 bogey-free rounds were recorded. 2 belonged to Tiger Woods via an opening 65 and a closing 67. Furthermore, Tiger Woods executed 0 3-putts during the entire tournament and accumulated only 6 bogeys over 72 holes, contrasted against a field average of 5 bogeys per single round. He achieved a competitive Triple Crown by leading the field in scoring efficiency across all hole architectures simultaneously, playing the par 3s, par 4s, and par 5s each at 4 under par. This dominance was so absolute that his score was beaten only a single time in any individual round during the week, occurring when Ernie Els carded a third-round 68 against Tiger Woods and his 71. Even if Tiger Woods had incurred a structural triple bogey on every single day of competition, his final score would have still secured the title by a comfortable 6-stroke margin. This performance was not a localized anomaly, but the focal point of the entire 2000 PGA Tour season. Across 20 competitive starts, Tiger Woods achieved 9 victories, 4 runner-up finishes, and 17 top 5 placements. This yielded a 45% win efficiency rate and an 85% top 5 finish frequency, meaning he finished first or second in 65% of all appearances. The season produced an unadjusted scoring average of 68.17 and an adjusted scoring average of 67.794, establishing an all-time PGA Tour record. An analysis of round-by-round and hole-by-hole data highlights a sustained competitive efficiency that left no mechanical vulnerability exposed. Tiger Woods led the tour globally across every individual round configuration and scoring environment, recording a first-round scoring baseline of 69.11, a second-round average of 67.53, a third-round average of 67.63, and a fourth-round closing baseline of 68.42. What psychological and structural framework allowed him to elevate his dominance above the greatest team sports icons of all time? Examine the numbers carefully because to truly comprehend why this prime stands alone, we must place it into a final tier that separates individual sports from the collective security of team environments. In team disciplines, historic performance baselines are well documented. Wayne Gretzky put up a colossal 215-point season in 1985-86, where his 163 assists alone outscored the total point accumulation of the second-ranked player, Mario Lemieux, by 22 points. Michael Jordan maintained an unassailable career-scoring baseline of 30.1 points per game. Lionel Messi completed a staggering calendar year in 2012, yielding 91 competitive goals for Barcelona. An essential structural distinction emerges when evaluating the causal mechanisms of these historical records. Team sports possess inherent buffering networks. An elite soccer superstar operates within a collective structure where master midfielders manage possession dynamics and prevent the opposition from overrunning the pitch. A hockey icon can rely on a defensive configuration or an elite goaltender to absorb pressure during a temporary physical or mechanical dip. Professional golf, by contrast, operates as an isolated, unbuffered individual system. There are no substitutions, no halftime adjustments in the locker room, and no collective safety nets. The individual must directly confront microclimatic variations, changing turf grass, and localized aerodynamic states entirely unaided. Furthermore, the psychological environment differs fundamentally. A team can distribute the burden of a failing strategy, whereas an isolated golfer face-to-face with Tiger Woods faces an unyielding psychological deficit because Tiger Woods maintained a 14-1 record when entering the final round of a major championship with at least a share of the 54-hole lead. The physical expansion of this peak performance materialized as the Tiger Slam across the 2000 and 2001 seasons, where Tiger Woods became the solitary player in history to hold all 4 professional major titles simultaneously. Institutional consistency was further demonstrated by his all-time PGA Tour record of 142 consecutive cuts made, erasing the previous historical standards of baseline durability. This streak was supported by a career framework containing 39 consecutive cuts made between the 1996 United States Open and the 2006 Masters, accompanied by an unbroken active streak of 24 consecutive cuts made at Augusta National, stretching from 1997 through 2024. This context clarifies why the longevity of Tiger Woods at the top of the official world golf rankings represents an almost unbreakable benchmark. A total of 683 cumulative weeks at world number 1, anchored by historic consecutive streaks of 264 weeks and a record-breaking 281 weeks. This tenure covers more than 13 calendar years at the absolute apex of global competition, doubling the lifetime career total of the next closest historical contemporary, Greg Norman, who achieved 331 weeks, while leaving historical peers like Tom Lehman at a single cumulative week. Only 6 players in history have managed to sustain the top spot for at least 52 successive weeks, with Tiger Woods holding the position for full calendar years across 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2009. But was this complete destruction of the competitive field merely an athletic marvel, or was it the primary engine behind a multi-billion-dollar economic revolution? Observe the commercial metrics closely, because the financial significance of this individual dominance completely re-engineered the economic landscape of modern athletic endorsement. Prior to this era, in 1996, the total prize money distributed across the entire PGA Tour schedule stood at approximately $70 million. Driven by the unprecedented television viewership metrics attached to this prime performance, total tour payouts expanded to $101 million when Tiger Woods turned professional, ballooned to $135 million in 1999, and doubled again to $292 million by 2008, moving toward a historical modern baseline of at least $565 million. Econometric modeling reveals that PGA Tour payouts increased at a historical rate 3 times faster during this era than in the period immediately preceding it. This expansion altered the livelihoods of contemporary competitors. The Tiger effect collectively injected an extra $1.6 billion in prize money into the professional ecosystem, allowing over 200 players to surpass $10 million in career earnings, with primary rivals Phil Mickelson and Vijay Singh capturing an estimated extra $30 million in indirect downstream payouts. This stands in stark contrast to the historical legends Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Gary Player, who earned less than $5 million combined across their competitive careers, a sum that, adjusted for modern inflation parameters, would equate to less than $25 million. To contextualize, Jack Nicklaus captured a mere $144,000 for his historic 1986 Masters victory at age 46, whereas the modern tour environment supports 55 distinct players who have earned in excess of $25 million. The direct transmission mechanism of this capital infusion was the explosion of television broadcast rights agreements, which multiplied in value twice during the initial stages of this athletic prime. Sunday's final round at the 1997 Masters received a 14.1 Nielsen national rating and shattered all viewership records for Grand Slam golf tournaments. More than 50 million people watched all or part of that broadcast, yielding a rating higher than regular season National Football League broadcasts of that era. The structural dependency of the media ecosystem on this single individual was demonstrated during competitive absences in the mid-2000s, which triggered an immediate 18% collapse in television viewership ratings between 2013 and 2018. Tiger Woods saw his net worth expand past $1.3 billion, with over 90% coming from off-course sponsorships like Nike, TaylorMade, Bridgestone, Monster Energy, 2K Sports, and Rolex. Econometric analyses from Carnegie Mellon University's Tepper School of Business quantified the precise microeconomic mechanism of his corporate endorsement. Focusing on the Nike golf ball division launched in 2000, his endorsement acquired millions of new customers and generated up to $103 million in profit. This drove a price premium of 2.5%, recovering 57% of Nike's investment in the United States retail market alone. Even during the severe negative publicity of his 2009 personal crisis, during which Nike lost 105,000 customers in the subsequent 6 months, analytical models demonstrated that maintaining the endorsement contract preserved $1.6 million more in total corporate profit than a sudden termination strategy would have yielded. The modern institutional structures, including the $45 million player impact program and the $100 million player equity distributions, exist directly as institutional attempts to monetize this sustained historical popularity, which also insulated the PGA Tour from competitive disruptions, evidenced by his rejection of a high 9-figure contract offer from alternative leagues. But what was the ultimate physical cost of generating this unprecedented wave of capital and dominance? Examine the physical trajectory of his late career, because the physical motion required to produce these metrics subjected the human anatomy to a level of torque that would ultimately demand an equally legendary display of survival. The 1997 and 2000 mechanical models required rapid pelvic clearance and high rotational velocities, exposing his left knee joint and lumbar spine to severe shear forces. As anatomical structures accumulated microtrauma, Tiger Woods refused to maintain a static technical framework, choosing instead to execute subsequent complete swing overhauls to distribute kinetic loads away from compromised joints. Following the conclusion of the Butch Harmon and Hank Haney eras, Tiger Woods transitioned to swing theorist Sean Foley in early 2010 to restore lost efficiency. Sean Foley identified significant mechanical inefficiencies, noting that Tiger Woods was losing massive quantities of velocity and power because his physical alignments were structurally flawed. The Foley modification architecture mandated less loading into the anatomical right side, a strengthening of the lead hand grip pressure configuration, a steeper shaft orientation during the backswing, and a specialized transitional downswing movement pattern engineered toward an outward hand path. This mechanical realignment was expressly designed to eliminate the historical liability of the club dropping too far inside or getting stuck on an overly inside-to-out path, while simultaneously redistributing rotational forces away from compromised spinal segments. Subsequent iterations under Chris Como further adjusted the top of swing physics, returning the club face position back toward a square face orientation in the 33 to 40 degree range. The structural legacy of this prime performance rests on its dual nature as both a mechanical and an economic anomaly. By exploiting early career competitive security to execute radical mechanical decon constructions, Tiger Woods developed a kinetic system that achieved absolute statistical separation from global fields. This individual athletic separation acted as the primary mechanism for a global macroeconomic expansion, permanently altering the capitalization and media rights valuation of professional sports ecosystems. When physical trauma threatened to terminate this competitive timeline, the same capacity for mechanical deconstruction allowed him to re-engineer the physics of the movement, sustaining an institutional presence across multiple decades. The empirical metrics compiled across this era remain an unattainable baseline, confirming that the parameters governing this historical peak are unlikely to converge within a single individual ever again. If you want to see more deep dives into the unbreakable records and hidden mechanics of sports history, make sure to hit the subscribe button right now and share this video with a friend who appreciates true athletic greatness.